Alright guys, so before I get too ahead of myself, I do want to change a couple of attributes on this character. Let's bring the nose to be a little smaller, and also I'm going to bring it lower on the face. Let's grab the top of the nose, bring this down, so we can just smooth this out. We can just hold down shift, just smooth it out, just like that. And also let's press Alt Q while we hover over the head to go back into this, and let's change this face up a lot. The lips are really huge and it has a cleft chin, and I really just did that as an experiment to see the direction it's going in. I'm going to round this out and smooth it out. Since it's a Disney style character, there isn't any like sharp identifying lines, so I don't want to have too much of that going on here. So what I'll do is press 3, go to the side view, let's move this just a bit. Let's go and use our mask tool. So let's scroll down in our brushes. You're going to see a lasso mask, and if you don't see this, you'll probably see a box mask. You can just left click hold on top of this and select lasso mask. And what I want to do is press 1 to go to the front view, and I'll press F so I can downsize this brush, and I'll mask out where I want the mouth to start to extrude. Just draw over this section too. Let me check my resolution. Now's a good time to switch over to our Draw Sharp brush. Bring out this section of the character's mouth. Bring it forward a bit. Control I to invert the selection, and I'll bring the bottom lip in ever so slightly. I'll press Alt M to clear the mask, and we have this line here. So now if we just smooth this out, just make the brush a lot smaller, and we up the resolution, we can capitalize on this a little bit more. So let's use our Draw Sharp, smooth this out. We have that there. We could also do the same with another lip, with the bottom lip. So we'll press M to go to our mask. Or we could just go to our side view here, use our lasso mask. Let's press 1 to go back to the front view, and let's mask out this bottom lip. This looks good right here. Once we're satisfied, we can invert this by pressing Control I, and let's press G to go back to the grab brush, and let's just position ourselves better so we can pull out this bottom lip like so. Pull out the sides a little bit. Looks nice, and we can switch back to our clay strips brush and build up a little bit, but let's just smooth this out by holding down shift and drawing. Once we're satisfied, let's hit Alt M to clear the mask, and let's just further smooth this out with shift and drawing on this bottom lip, as well as the sides too, so we can clear this gigantic line up. Nice. Well, this is good from all angles. We can smooth this out a little bit more. Let's Control Z to go back. That's maybe too much. Looks okay. Let's smooth this out. And we may need to add a little bit more resolution to sharpen this out. So let's hit R, Let's up the resolution for the voxels, and we'll press Control R to apply this. And I think we can use a draw sharp brush for now, so we can capitalize on this thin line. So let's hold down Control while using the draw sharp to add to the strength of the sharpness. We do the same for the bottom lip. And we're going to be toggling between the resolution, so we're going to be bringing the resolution up and down for different parts of the characters as we go throughout this project. Now let's continue moving forward, and let's just add to the build up around this area. We'll smooth it out. Looks pretty good so far. And we're going to be changing the proportions of the nose later on here in a bit. Let's just make sure everything's looking the way we want it to. Let's go to object mode and let's rotate these eyes. And that's also why we didn't apply this to the head yet, just so we can still manipulate the expression with the eyelids being open and closed and tilted for various looks. This looks good. Let's go back to sculpt mode. Let's finish polishing up this. And we're still on the blackout stage, so this is still the ugly stage. We're not doing any major details. We're just experimenting right now, see what kind of styles we can go for. And I want to go for more of a Pixar style look, so I may get rid of some of the harsh lines later on as we go throughout this project. Let's change our brush size. Let's add to the chin. And we don't want that cleft chin, but instead just an area that kind of bulges out. And we're going to be experimenting with this as we move forward, but just something so we have a visual representation of this thing as an entire whole. Let's move this out. And I'm liking the direction that we're headed towards now. It looks a little bit more apparent that it's a head. But I will be moving the nose around because right now it doesn't feel like an alien species. It still looks a bit humanoid and has human characteristics in proportion. So we'll exaggerate this as we move throughout the project. I just want to build up a little bit more on this eyebrow just to make it more apparent and stick out. Smooth it out as we work. Looks good. And I think I should just build up a little bit more volume around the forehead area to assume that there is something housing a brain. So I'm just using the clay strips right now just to build up. And you see how it's taking a little bit harder or longer to smooth it out. That's because we have more resolution to the model. So we'll be upping and downing the voxel resolution throughout this project. So let's just continue building up some volume here. Although there will be hair and different particles covering this on the character, I just want to have it like kind of like a something to help build that illusion that this is more than just a sculpt. And let's focus on the glasses a little bit. I think we should have the glasses with the straps versus the ones with the little handles. So let's go back to object mode and let's save this. Let's select our glasses here, and we can add some edge loops on this. So let's first scale this up in the Z axis so it's nice and thick, and this will be the band that wraps around the head. So there's a few different ways we can go about this. So what I want to do is first select this, and then I want to / to isolate it by itself so I can get a better representation of what I'm actually going to be doing. Now let's go to edit mode by pressing tab, and I want to press Control R, which will allow us to add more segments of edge loops, and you can middle mouse scroll up or down to up the count. So let's get a fair amount, and what we can do is select each ring by double clicking or control clicking, and we can manipulate them one by one so it wraps around. And once you have it, you can just start to pull it outside so it's not protruding through the character's head, because that would be one, dangerous, and two, not realistic. So grab these, and we're selecting the entire ring, not just the individual edge. Notice I switched to face mode and I want to just pull this out and rotate it so it follows along the proper topology. So let's bring this closer together. I don't want to select this. Let's go to edge mode and we'll pull this out and closer to this one. We'll just manipulate these one by one. We'll double click, select this. We'll drag this out this way. And we'll do the same. Let's get this and let's rotate this. So let's use a rotate tool and we're just going to change the direction that it's going. And it's good to have good edge flow and topology. So that's why we're selecting these, and we can select the face and rotate around. And what we could also do is just bridge these together. We'll get close enough to it, and then what we could do is toggle off the mirror, or actually apply it. So let's go to object mode, hit the drop down here and apply. We'll reselect our model, go back into edit mode, and we can delete the faces. Go to edge select the entire ring on both sides. So hold down shift and select this ring, and we can right click and go to bridge edge loops. Now that those are bridged together, we can get rid of some of these edges, or we can just move them back. So we'll just double click G so we can slide the edge versus moving in free transform. That looks good. We're back at the object level and we're just viewing this as a whole. So before we end this video, I just want to clear up some of the space between the head by moving the back of the skull a little bit closer to the band. So back in sculpt mode for the head, what I'll do is switch to my grab brush and I'll just fix some of these areas that are a little bit unrealistic. We'll pull this back, as well as pull the back of the head closer to the band, because right now it looks like it doesn't fit properly. So we'll just do something like this, and let's hold Alt Q and select the band to cycle between the object that's being sculpted on. And this looks good. Real quick, I want to select the eyes and just rotate them around. Right now they look super bland. I want to add a little bit more style to this character, so let's just rotate this a little bit, as well as reposition the nose once we're done and satisfied with the positioning of the eyelids. And if need be, you guys want to veer away from this tutorial, you can, and change the direction of the eyes as you see fit. Let's grab this nose as well and just reposition this closer to the eyes so it looks more alien-like. It looked a little too close to human, with the nose being down closer to the mouth. And yeah. All right, let's do this last little bit here. What I'm gonna do is grab this head, go into sculpt mode, grab my draw sharp brush. I'm gonna create a seam that wraps around from the center. Oop, let's go here. Make the brush a bit bigger. Wraps throughout the head. I want this to look less human and a bit more alien. What I'll also do here, merge the nose with the head. And we'll lastly remesh this. Looks to be good. And let's create a seam that runs from the lip to the nostrils smooth this out. Looks good. And let's flatten out the top of the head. And we'll just smooth this out and we'll call it a wrap for the head. This is looking pretty good so far. Let's smooth this out a bit. Something else we could do is, if you don't like the style of the nose, we can switch back to the draw sharp brush and we can hold down control and we can just create some harsh lines running around the nose leading into the eyebrow. And this gives it a different type of style. So if you want to go this way, you're more than welcome to. If we don't like this, we could always just smooth it out in the future. So nothing is set in stone, especially not at this level. So let's go back to object mode. Let's select our glasses, hit H to hide. And that, you can see it on the right side. You can toggle it back on at any time or hit Alt H. What I want to do with these eyelids are, I want to go to object mode and apply these. Because I think I'm satisfied with this positioning and where it's posed. So I'll just hit the drop down, go to apply. I'll do the same for the bottom. And we can then combine these together by selecting the top lid, shift select the bottom one, and hit Control J to combine. Now what we can do is add some subdivisions to it because it's relatively low now. So let's go to add a subdivision surface modifier. We'll bring it to about 2 subdivisions and apply this. Once we're satisfied, we can merge the eyelids with the face by first selecting the eyeballs, then shift select the head, Control J. Once those are combined, we can reset the scale for this just to ensure that nothing happened. Let's then go back to sculpt mode on the head and let's make sure these are on the same face sets. So let's go down to the remesh button here at the top right, hit the drop down, ensure that face sets is unchecked. Now we can hit R to change the resolution to something we like and then hit Control R to apply it. And if I went too fast, you guys can just go back and just replay it if need be. But now you see the eyeballs cannot be separated anymore. It's now part of the head sculpt. So let's just smooth this out. And I noticed everything is going good. I still have my symmetry on, just how we want it. And we're just smoothing out this harsh, sharp divider between the eyelids and the face. So let's just smooth this out so it transitions rather smoothly. This looks nice. And we can just smooth anywhere we need to, or we can switch to inflate and inflate the eyebrow area just to give it some style. You can, or if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can just smooth that out and leave it. I may end up taking this out later on, depending on the direction of the character's artistic style. You could build up a little bit more around the mouth, nasal area, if need be. I think I want to make it look a little bit more alien-like. And I think this pretty much wraps up this video. Everything turned out the way it's intended to. Looks nice. Let's go back to object mode and let's just see how this looks as a whole. So let's hit Alt H to unhide all the rest of the pieces we have hidden on the collection, and we can just Control Z to go back. We can just toggle them on one by one here on the side. Let's just toggle back on the glasses. Yeah. This looks really well. I think we made pretty good progress so far.